life dependent on earning money. Figures on a screen that are created out of nothing by banks, and then we pay interest on them, figures out of nothing. And if we don't meet the payments because we lose our job because the banks have crashed the bloody economic system, the banks throw us out of our home. Hey, we're free, honey. And then they get in a car and they drive to work. And I've driven into Los Angeles with people every day for 1 week, and they were almost orgasmic when the traffic jam didn't start for another mile down the freeway that it normally does, right? And you sit there, and you get to work and you're tired. You have to get to work at a certain time, and then you're in prison all day because you have to do what you're told to do. You have to keep the bosses happy. You can't leave until a certain time, right? Then that's when they give you parole for the evening. And then you get in your car and you drive back and you're in the traffic jams on the way home. You get home, you're tired, you're frustrated, you're stressed, and then you have your tea. Then you watch the goggle box, the oblong hypnotist in the corner of the room.
The television.
And it tells you what to believe about the world and reality, and overwhelming yourself. And then you go to bed. You take a sleeping pill maybe because you're so stressed you can't sleep. Oh, doctor, I can't sleep. Why is it? Because you're stressed. Why are you stressed? Look at your lifestyle, mate. And then you get up in the morning and you get in your car. It all starts again. Oh, he's free. He's got a good job. He has. Well, all right. Now, another part of this daily ritual is you come home, usually late, so you spend very little time with your children. And your children, they've just come back from prison because they left in the morning about the same time you did, and they go to their prison called a school. They have to be there at a certain time. They then have to be told what to do and do as they're told all day, while they're told what to believe, lesson after lesson after lesson, by teachers who've been through exactly the same process as the children are going through, and now they are programmed to program the next generation. Then they leave school, they get parole for the evening, when the school says you can leave, and they then take home homework, so that when the little leisure time they might have, they are, as you say, sitting there doing homework. Now, what is this doing? Or I have not described yet, in the day of the children and the day of the parents, if you like, one thing that involved the right brain being accessed. It's all left brain stuff. And what is the greatest thing to open the left brain of a child? Play. Play.
Creativity.
Imagination. Ad-libbing. Spontaneity. Ad-libbing. Imagination. Play and all the rest of it. And what they're doing, not least in Britain now, they're trying to squeeze that point from birth to the first academic type lessons. They're trying to squeeze that period smaller and smaller and smaller. And I heard Obama last year, you know, this amazing intellect who can read words off a teleprompter, but he's a stuttering idiot whenever it goes down. And he said, to meet the challenge of meet the challenge of the global economy. Now, meet the challenge of the global economy. Where did the global economy come from that's challenging us to more work and more education? From the very people that are imposing this education and stuff upon us. And he said children should spend more time at school. And they should reduce the period in the summer when they have a break from school. To do what? To play and ad-lib and open the right brain. So it's all systematic. And this is why I focus so much on the nature of reality and how we interact with it. Because when we understand the themes of that, the way the system's structured it's like an open book. Yeah. It's structured to shut us down and stop us being the incredible awareness, consciousness that we really are.
Yeah, they're keeping us on mind mode. We have to think, we have to plan tomorrow. They're getting us out of the present. Because I know when you say, like, kids are playing, they're happy, they're free, They're inspired, and you can only get inspired, which we call in spirit, when you're out of your mind. So when do these kids actually have time to play and be free? Because we know that we're tired as parents when we arrive home, the kids are tired. And that's just who wants to do homework at 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, you know, and the kids get cranky, and then that upsets mum and dad, and then it's just creating conflict in the family.
Okay.
So then all hell gets loose, yeah?
So, kids, don't do homework.
Nothing. Okay? No homework.
No homework. Okay, let's have a revolution. No homework. If you can't tell us what you say we need to know, I don't necessarily agree with you, in fact I don't, between like, what did you say in Spain, 9 o'clock till 5 o'clock?
9 o'clock to 5, minimum.
And then homework?
And at the weekends as well, homework at the weekends.
The thing is, what are we looking at? It's not, I'm going from home to school, is it?
No.
It's every now and again, I'm going from school to home. That's the relationship. No more homework. Tell them to stick it. Come on, revolution. Good bloody God! I mean, crikey, we're trying to bring our children up to be the full magnitude of who they are, and every day we say goodbye, darling, and they go off to be suppressed in terms of the magnitude of who they are. Come on, we've had enough of this. I have.
Yeah. When we go back to the health thing, you know, we know how mission control is trying to control our physical health. We are observing, especially in Barcelona, more and more presence of the chemtrails. The chemtrails are composed of aluminium. And this aluminium is also present in very much of the medication that is being prescribed for psychological problems, psychiatric problems, which is really making things worse because it goes and it gets implanted in the brain. It's stored up on the brain. So they're actually recognizing it's the cause of problems with Alzheimer's, etc., etc. So if they're chucking all this aluminium down on top of us with the excuse that it's climate control, you know, for our benefit, for the crops, etc. What's your opinion on why are they doing that? Why are they targeting the whole population in an absolutely crazy, absurd way? What's their aim behind that? What's the issue there?
Well, it's crazy, but as always with this bunch of idiots, because that's what they are when you bring back the shield of their arrogance and intellectual superiority. They're bloody prats, as we say in England. Bunch of prats. But they're not...
Do you know what Barcelona airport's called?
What?
El Prat.
Is this?
Yeah.
Right, it must have a lot of dignitaries go through it then to earn the name. Anyway, the whole thing about the chemtrails is that there is method, as with so many other things, in their apparent madness, because they're clever, but they're stupid. And people go, well, what do you mean, Dave? Well, what I mean is this. They're clever in the sense that they're intellectually clever, in the sense that they can know how to manipulate reality, manipulate people's perceptions, but they ain't wise. And wisdom is what is missing. Wisdom, empathy, compassion, all these things. And cleverness without wisdom, which is what we're dealing with these people, is the most destructive force on earth. It's very clever to build an atomic bomb. It's not wise, however, to do so. This is the difference between the two. So although they're crazy, they're like the mad professor in many ways. They do know how technology works and how the body works. And as I've been saying for 20 years now, there is this vibrational change. I call it truth vibrations, and it's an information change, and we're going into a new epoch, what they call in Asia a yuga, a new age, you know, dawning of the age of Aquarius and all that stuff. And they are desperate in every way possible to suppress that vibrational change's impact upon human awareness. And this is an important point. It just tells you just the magnitude of who we are, the magnitude of our true genius, which we've forgotten, that they are having to throw at us efforts to suppress this genius, this awareness, from every single angle possible. You've got the microwave and electromagnetic pollution, you've got that which distorts our ability to access this information, you've got the stuff in food, you've got the drugs, you've got the vaccines, and you've got the stuff coming from the sky, as you rightly say, chemtrails. A number of people, since I've been in Barcelona, said chemtrails here are terrible, you know. But I've seen them all over the world. Yeah. I've been out into the outback, if you might call it, of South Africa, and there's bloody planes going up and down, filling the sky with these things. I've sat in Arizona and day after day watched a blue sky become a cloudy day by the afternoon, as planes from the Luke Air Force Base in Phoenix have just crisscrossed the sky with this stuff. Yeah. And of course, because of compartmentalization, they say that the pilots probably think they're serving humanity, because it's always about global warming, whatever they tell them. Yeah, it's just protect. You know. So they go out in their compartmentalized way, thinking they're serving the people, when they're actually poisoning the people, including their own families. This is what this is all about, and it's no accident that some of the content of these chemtrails has that effect on the brain that you were talking about. It's because that's the idea. It's to create distortions in our mental, emotional, and physical state in every way possible. Because in so many ways, when you look at what's happening in the world in terms of the police state and control and surveillance and all this stuff, if you don't come from this understanding or a position where you look at reality in this way, then what it looks like, absolutely looks like, is that this control system is now increasing its power, increasing its control, and imposing itself more and more powerfully on humanity as it comes to its fruition of total global control. But I kind of see it in another way, from this perception of the truth vibrations, the epoch change, in that what they're trying to do is batten down the hatches against the biggest threat to their power there has ever been since they started to impose it. You know, you've got people like Zbigniew Brzezinski, Jimmy Carter's former national security advisor, and not just an advisor to Obama, but a mentor of him and developer of him going back to the 80s. 1980s, saying to his fellow insiders that we are witnessing the biggest, he called it political awakening, the biggest awakening in human history. Well, not necessarily in human history, but known human history. Okay, I'll grant you that one, Zbigniew. And so they're seeing this awakening, and it's threatening their power, because more and more. I mean, look at the number of people